I will give you something. I might get in trouble for something she did on production, which I thought was hysterical. She ordered some shoes from Jimmy Choo, from the Soho store, the Jimmy Choo Soho store, and she billed it to the production.
Everybody go. 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 What is going on, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it freaking is. Hold on, let me adjust my light before Miss Yoanna come in, because I know she's gonna come in with the things of the things, and I need to make sure that I can stand next to the Titan. Let me see. I think I'm happy with this. Anyways, guys, I have the pleasure of speaking with Cycle 2 winner, Yoanna House. Now listen, I'll be very honest with you guys. I'm plugging my computer right now. I'll be very honest with y'all. I didn't think Miss Mamas was going to do it with me. And so when I saw her DM me back, I was like, this is exciting. Furthermore, if you guys have been following this series that I'm doing, you know that Cycle 2, Shandi, her and I had a conversation, and she blew it up. 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 So I'm so interested to see what Miss Yoanna House has to say about Cycle 2. Again, I'm pulling all of y'all questions because I don't want nobody calling me, talking about, hey, all of you being messy. No, I'm saying y'all names, so if you got a problem, they can at y'all and find y'all and not be bothering me. I don't want to wake up to no more text messages. But no, for real though, I'm really grateful for this opportunity in this moment, and I think it's going to be very exciting. So let's see if she is here. And let's go ahead and pull her in. Mama is here.
Hi. Hold on. I'm in my car. I'm actually at the hair salon. So I didn't want to cancel with you. But I want to say, hey, thanks so much for taking the time.
No, thank you for taking your time to like talk with me and converse with me. It's so exciting.
Thank you. All right, so go ahead, ask me the questions. I didn't prepare for anything, and look, I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen the show since I've been on it, so it brings a little bit of anxiety talking about it. But I'm gonna just give you the answers that you're looking for.
Really?
As best possible.
Yes, yes. I like that attitude, Yoanna. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Before I start going...
Okay, but first, do you like what I wore for you today? I put on my little Armani. I love secondhand. I love buying things secondhand, and I got this beautiful little Armani piece, and I said, we're going to dress up today for Oliver.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you. I feel so...
You're welcome.
Oh, so special. Let me see it again. I want to see it again.
Well, it's all down here. Let's see. Woo! There you go. It's a beautiful little mesh navy. I got a black one, too.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's do it.
So listen, did you watch my interview with Shandi?
No, I haven't ever watched any of your interviews before because I wanted to have the element of surprise.
The element of surprise. So listen, Miss Yoanna, if you want a good laugh, if you want a good time, when you have time, go watch that interview that I did with Shandi.
Okay, I love Shandi.
I think it's probably the most iconic ANTM interview ever to exist on the face of this planet. She was so great.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it, but I will. I will look at it.
So let's just jump into these questions. So listen, JD Milo from YouTube wants to know, how does it feel? How does she feel about other contestants saying she was pre-selected to be the winner of Cycle 2? That is something that has plagued the blogs, the Reddit feeds. Some of your fellow contestants have also said, Yoanna was some pre-select. Is this something that you are knowledgeable about? And if whatever the response is, how do you feel about that?
Well, to be honest with you, this is the first I've heard of it, pre-selection before winning. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you have to be something that stands behind the show. It's made for television. Let's keep that in mind. And also, I feel that you are given a modeling contract. It's for 1 year. I did get all the prizes. I didn't win any money. I think a lot of people thought that I had won a ton of money after the show. No, I won a modeling contract. So you have to kind of think too, will the girl be able to work at that modeling agency if she wins the show? So, and I stayed with IMG for over like 8 years, and then I moved to Florida and things changed. But that's really what is it about. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel sometimes people can kind of be sore losers. I think, no, I really do in life. And I think when it comes to women in general, it's very hard to cheerlead other women on. And I feel like that's the real pandemic, when we can't be happy for other people. And that is across the board something I've learned with life. I run into this all the time with women. And we've got to be able to just be like, okay, she won, but what am I going to do with my life now? I don't know. I felt like a lot of people were so concerned with my life. But now it's like, I don't know. I don't think there was any pre-selection. I just think that was just kind of ridiculous. Why are you laughing? Did I say something funny?
Miss Yoanna, I don't know if you know too much about the culture of reading. Do you know about the reading culture?
Well, I like to read, but do you mean like, I love to read. I read books, but I think I know what you're saying. Do I read people?
Do you know about like the reading culture, the reading, the genre of reading? What I'm trying to say is, in the genre of reading, that was top tier. That was like top.
Oh, I can read people like that. You see when the little snake comes and she's got little baby bonnet, I know when they're a snake, but doesn't mean you have to call them out. You can still play with snakes.
Because you're a snake.
No, because they're going to be all over in life. You just have to be careful who you let in your inner circle.
Yes. Okay.
I don't know. I think like you're going through something right now. I feel like you're going through transition right now.
For me?
And you're questioning who's good in your life right now.
To be quite honest, girl, don't make me start crying on this thing.
I feel it. Look, I have a gift where I could feel things from people, and you and I are talking, but I feel like you're going through something right now.
So yes, I am going through what is and will be a great moment in my life right now. Like a lot of things that I've hoped for, prayed for are coming to me, and I'm currently working, I've shared this multiple times. I'm currently working on a TV show that will be on TV unless the network just says we don't want the TV no more, we don't want the show no more. And I kind of feel it in my bones. It's going to be a great experience. And, just with certain that have happened to me in 2020, that has been something that I've constantly, been thinking about, who is around me right now, The concern for me is I want to be, are you a woman of faith?
Yes, and I don't believe in psychics. I don't. I'm sorry. I believe in prophecy, and I believe I am a deep spiritual person. I don't believe in New Age. I believe that that's actually just a way to get us off the path. But no, I believe, yes, I'm a very big believer. But yeah. So is that what you meant by reading? Like feeling? I feel like feeling.
No, I was slightly being petty, because I mean, you kind of gathered the girls right fast.
Well, look, hey, we got to also go back in time. That was a really long time ago. And I think what people don't understand, it was a competition.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't there. It wasn't a sorority house. We weren't like coming together. We're there to like beat each other, to win.
said. That's what Ebony told her. Ebony said, listen, I don't want anyone to think I'm not down for holding hands and prayer, but Robin, this is not Bible study class, and this is not for you. This is a modeling competition.
But you don't want to wish ill will for them. But you know, at the end of the day, it was about wanting to win. And also, I think what most people, when we started the show, we didn't care about being famous. Now people will show you their vagina, they'll show you their dingling to be famous. we didn't care about that. We cared about like actually modeling. And I think that was my I love fashion, and I really wanted to be a working model. But this whole thing with, you know, trying to be famous, that was not what I was into. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a great way to open it. I'm gonna jump right back into these questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you trying to dredge and stir something up in me? Listen, Jamal Jackson from YouTube wants to know. Ask her what was her honest opinion of that dreadful "Shake Your Body" song that Tyra sang and made them dance to. Now, that whole "Shake Your Body" is such a polarizing moment. Listen, I love this.
I hated it. I was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. I didn't go on there to be a booty shaking, twerking video girl. I wanted to be in the world of fashion. And look, to support Tyra Banks and her dream of being a video maven, great. But I mean, they put on the most ridiculous clothes. The heels were horrendous. The floors were slippery. They pushed me down. I mean, you talk about a nightmare. It was a nightmare pretty much. Yeah, it was pretty much a nightmare. So yeah, let's move on from that, because I'm starting to feel a little bit anxious inside talking about it.
I got you. Okay. So Ed wants to know, listen, I've told y'all about these YouTube names.
I don't know anything about the YouTube community, but I'm getting a thrill from all these questions.
Yes, but this is me reading them. I've told y'all about these YouTube names. I don't like them. Change them to something that's happy and commercial. Yes. Anyways, Dad says, pick me. Yoanna, how did it make you feel when Nigel would say disgusting things about your body at the time during panel?
You know what? I've really learned to take correction in a good way in life. And I think if you can't be corrected in life, you've got serious problems. And I think that's part of this world of entitlement we're living in. And I think that's what sets people off, is when they get corrected. Look, I came on the show, I lost an enormous amount of weight. I had to rechange my whole lifestyle. I hadn't really got into toning, and I did afterwards. I don't think Nigel is a cruel, mean-spirited person. I think he really came on to give his truths. But you know, at the end of the day, I knew what I was getting into. Look, I think what people feel about this industry, and this is why a lot of women, I'm going to call them out, want to knock me down because they feel like, oh, she gets put on a pedestal. No, we do not. A lot of it is, are you willing to be corrected, and are you okay with it? Are you willing to have someone say, you need to lose a few pounds, you need to get into shape? Look, it's the truth. It is what it is. And I don't have any regrets, but it was a little uncomfortable to watch it and have it televised, for sure, because sometimes when you're getting corrected, you can have it in a private moment, but that was televised. And I think a lot of people were waiting to see if I would put back weight on, or if I changed my body and all that. And that was a lot of pressure for me, but I've learned to just let it go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So Robbie Belt wants to know, what's her opinion on Janice Dickinson? Is she as intimidating in person as she seems on TV?
She's a mess. Look, I know I don't care if I was her pick or not. Look, I think she's gone through a lot of things in life. I think she was at the height of her modeling career at one time. I do think that she has a good heart, but look, she was also fighting her own demons, and she could be a little cantankerous, as they say. And you know, that's all. I will give you something. I might get in trouble for something she did on production, which I thought was hysterical.
What did she do?
Well, I don't think I signed an agreement. Well, I guess I could tell you, but anyway, she ordered some shoes from Jimmy Choo, from the Soho store, the Jimmy Choo Soho store, and she billed it to the production. They were pissed. And she always had beautiful men waiting for her after filming. Beautiful boys waiting for her.
Really?
From the modeling agencies.
Janice had the boys.
Yeah, the younger men loved her.
And she loved them, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she did.
Yeah. Listen, Solely K wants to know. They have a slew of questions, and I kept them all, Solely K, because they were really... The first question is, did any of the girls consider ever waking up Janasha?
Okay. What I remember, because my husband has bothered me about this, he has literally asked me a million times. Okay. My recalling of what happened was that I didn't know she was sleeping until we got into the van. And look, I've been told this, set your own alarm. And I know that sounds cruel, but I set 3-4 alarms. If I've got a job and I'm about to go on air for Home Shopping Network, QVC, or I'm doing this interview, I set 3-4 alarms. And they annoy the hell out of me, but I get my ass out of bed. And I think what happened was we weren't allowed to go back and wake her up. We were already in the van. And I believe that to be the truth. That's what I remember.
Just a little segue. You said you work for QVC?
Yes. I mostly do home shopping, but I have been on QVC. Yes.
I have a friend that works for them. Do you know Kat Carney?
Sounds familiar. I meet a lot of people, but I got to see them to remember them. I don't remember.
Kat Carney used to work for CNN, lost a bunch of weight, has like a big weight loss blog. Great friend of mine.
Really? I bet she's great. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
So Solely K's next is, how did you react to the entire cheating scandal with Shandi? And so just before you respond, so Shandi told me during our chat that she said she felt like it was a setup because you guys have been there for like a certain length of time and the jacuzzi hadn't worked until, and then she said all of a sudden they showed up to wherever you guys were staying with a bunch of alcohol with these men. And, I guess in hindsight, she felt like it was something, there was a little from production to have, not necessarily have it go through. Girl, I wanted to do it. Yoanna being there, walk us through your experience.
Look, I didn't start drinking till probably later in life after my first divorce. And I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'm just being silly. They did have alcohol for us. They had some pretty decent guys come over. We were all tired of each other at that time. We didn't want to even probably be near each other anymore. We just gotten off a plane and felt like we were squished and just had enough. And so, yeah, I would agree with Shandi that it was a little bit of setup. But hey, that's what you sign up for when you do reality TV. But look at the Housewives. All they do is drink alcohol all day long because that's what makes a great show. If they were sober, would we be watching? Probably not.
Yoanna, where do you live in the world?
I live in Florida.
Oh, you live in Florida? I'm originally from Florida.
You are?
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Yes, I live in Florida. I love Fort Lauderdale.
The only reason I would never go back and live there, like never.
Yeah, that's a whole separate interview.
Yeah. The only reason why I asked is because I feel like you have the perfect personality that I would love to see in a Housewives type setting.
I think my Southern accents come out more is because I have a lot of people around me that have a Southern accent, but I wouldn't mind being a housewife. Here's the problem that I find if I ever did a reality TV show again. You better believe they're going to be digging up all the dirt on your personal life. Mm-hmm. And I feel there's some people in my life who I definitely do not want to expose. And so let's just leave it at that.
Okay. America's Next Top Model hurt your career?
No, and here's the thing, because I decided after the show, which it was very challenging to navigate the waters because look, you're basically owned by the show even after you win, to do appearances and all that. And I had gotten a lot of offers to go back on reality TV, and it would have been lucrative financially, I'm sure. But I decided to take the high road. And I was told through my agency that I was going to be doing more broadcasting. So I really, what I did was I took that and I didn't disagree and I didn't fight them on it. I really went and started auditioning for e-networks, and I got the look for less. And then I went to journalism and media training. And then I started doing, I just wanted to keep educating myself. And I felt like, look, at the end of the day, the calling card is whatever is going to be gone. So it's all about here, and being able to talk, holding a microphone. And so that was pretty much where I was putting my, most of my effort, is to really grow my reel for TV and to be in the world of broadcasting.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. Soli K also wants to know, what made you dislike Camille? Is there?
Oh my God! Everybody makes such a big deal. Look, I love strong women. I love strong women. Camille is attractive. Camille is a very attractive woman. But Camille can be a challenging personality. And part of, I think, the annoyance with her was she would walk around in lingerie all the time, and we couldn't film. So everything had to be on hold for Camille's lingerie show. And it was just things like that. I think I think my pet peeve in life, and the older I get, my pet peeve in life is ill-mannered people. That's my pet peeve. Ill manners. And that's why we didn't get along. It's not because she was Black. It's not because she thought she was amazing. No, it was because she was an ill-mannered woman.
Simple. What was your favorite photo shoot and what was your least favorite?
Oh my God. Well, there were so many least favorites. I'll be honest with you. I really didn't enjoy doing most of them. The least favorite was the dunking in the water. What the hell was that? Keeping your eyes and posing underwater. That was just a little too much for me. And then the other thing I really didn't like was, God, I don't even remember, the dangling from the building. That was a little creepy. Yeah.
Andy said that was her least favorite too, because she said there was no net underneath you guys.
Nothing. It's like it was very ridiculous. It was a little ridiculous, but hey, it made good TV and it made Katie cry. Everybody wanted to see, poor Katie. She was crying all the time because she was putting these petrifying photo shoots. They were petrifying.
Who do you think was your biggest competition in the house at that time?
What, physically? Like, I really thought the Middle Eastern girl was beautiful. I will tell you this, my biggest competition was my mindset, because you can really be in that environment and not believe in yourself. And I think what was happening was you're put in this home living situation with a bunch of competitive girls. I never competed for anything in my life. I was never put on a pedestal by my mother saying that I'm amazing. Oh, you're just the most beautiful creature in all the land, and you're gonna have every man you want. I didn't have that growing up. Compliments were few and far between. So I feel like sometimes in my mind, when I would hear criticism or correctiveness from the judges, I would kind of not believe in myself. And it was hard. So I don't know. I guess that's the answer I'd give.
No, that's fine. Lee G100 wants to know. They're saying, I always wanted to know, how long does it actually take Tyra to call the girls out when you guys are in panel? Is it as quickly as we see on TV, more or less, or does it take a long time? How long do the two girls spend in front of Tyra in the bottom two? I just thought this was like a little cool question.
Oh, you mean like when Tyra holds the card and she's like...
And panel, I guess they're asking, is it as quick as it looks on TV, her calling you guys and you guys coming up there to get your photo?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. I don't really remember much about all that. I don't know. It's like so strange because I feel like we weren't really sleeping very much. And the way that they shot the show it was pretty much done in a pretty rapid pace. But I don't really remember much of what Tyra did, to be honest. Sorry, no, that's not throwing shade. I just don't remember.
No. I got you. I understood you. So someone else is asking, at the top 5 photo shoot, all top 5 went to, oh God. Okay, a lot of questions about this.
What?
A lot of questions about this. This question is about that whole moment when you guys went to dinner with Tyra and Jay, and you went on the bathroom, and people began to feel about, you know.
Oh, they thought I had an eating disorder?
Yes, and so before
you want to know what I was doing?
Hold on.
I don't care. I'll tell y'all what I was doing.
Hold on. Hold on. Before you respond, as a fan watching it, while I don't believe Camille handled it the best way that we would have wanted in that moment, from point, I kind of feel like there was like they were trying to prompt her to say something, and it's, at least to me, I can see she was kind of uncomfortable. But I don't know. This is just what I'm saying. But go ahead and tell us what you were actually doing and speak to us about that controversial moment.
Okay, well, I had had enough of those girls, and I literally would go to the bathroom and I would de-mic myself, and I would run to the hostess stand, and I would ask to use the telephone because we weren't allowed to have mobile phones, and I would call my mother. And then I would go back to the bathroom and I'd re-mic myself. And then I would come back to the table because she would always tell me to hang in there.
Wow.
That's what I was doing. And I did that in Italy too when they couldn't find me.
So you're watching this, or not even watching it, you're there and you find out that there was discussion about you having an eating disorder at the table. How did you feel about that?
I don't know. They're messy girls. I don't really care at that point. I mean, people are going to be messy when women feel a certain way about another female. They're gonna make up shit, and so that's all it was.
Gotcha. Amanda Sawyer from YouTube wants to know, what is your relationship? What was and what is your relationship like with Mr. J and Miss J?
Well, I love Mr. J, Manuel. I love Miss J. I think Mr. J, I could hang with him. We hung out like a little bit in New York. I'm not gonna make it out like we were buddy, but we DM. He sent me his book. I really like him. I think he is just I love his creativity. I love his spirit. And Miss J for me sometimes can take a little too far with the cattiness, but it is what it is, and that's kind of her way of, like, you know, describing people and having fun. But they're very fun. I'd see them at Fashion Week and all that stuff. But I think I have a pretty good rapport with most of the talent that was on the show, for sure.
Good. Dope. Talent wants to know, did she feel as though Mercedes should have won their cycle? And was there any backlash from top model fans because of it? I know this is another burning question that I saw in the comments. And of course, Mercedes is like one of the most loved characters that's ever been on Top Model. But I would say, even though I did like her on the show, I thought Yoanna House was the proper winner for that cycle because, you know, she did a great job. And out of the two models, I felt like Yoanna was stronger.
Oh, you broke up. How what?
How do you feel about that being a popular opinion of the fans that Mercedes should have won?
Well, I mean, that's what the fans should have. They should have whoever they think. I mean, I like Mercedes. I didn't really feel like, look, Mercedes went off and did commercial modeling in California. I think she's doing good. She's a great girl. I like Mercedes, a woman. And I really don't, I try not to, I think I've learned to not, if this was 15 years ago or 20 years ago, I would have probably dissected more, but I don't really care.
You don't really care?
I really don't care.
So, you know, I don't know if you know or not, but Mercedes and April do like this YouTube podcast where they talk about stuff like that. And I watched Mercedes detail a story during the final two before judging. She said Janice Dickinson came up to her and was like, "Hey girl, just know you're not winning tonight. But since you're not winning, I'm going to allow my hairdresser to press your hair." This is a story that Mercedes said. she that happened to her during filming. How do you what are your thoughts on that?
Well, that was nice. I've been on sets before with other females that will not share their hairdresser with you. So I think that was a very kind act from Janice.
Yes. Daniel Williams wants to know, ask her, what was it like to be one of the few winners who actually had a modeling career after winning the show?
What now? Was it what?
How do you feel about being one of the few winners who actually had a modeling career after winning the show?
Well, I really worked to have one. And it was really a challenge. It was a double-edged sword coming off of that show because you had a lot of doors that would open and you really had to prove yourself. And I'm still working as a model. I think, look, I also had to like educate myself. I had to learn how to dress, how to come to clients, navigate like the whole scene of New York, then moving to Florida and getting into, you know, that market. I mean, I think people think, look, I try to take really good care of my skin. I try to take really good care of my body. I work at it. It's not something that's just, you know, just happened. It really took a lot of effort and work. And also too, just having, being able to be corrected and taking corrective advice from people in the industry who have built careers for other women that are doing well. I would take their advice, you know, on what I needed to do to keep working.
Yeah. Jay wants to know, excuse me, why wasn't she featured on the next cycle or any subsequent cycles of Top Model?
I did. I went and, like, I think we did the season 3. I went and said hi to the girls. But, you know, look, I'm very grateful for the show, but I do not want to be a reality TV star at the time. Mm-hmm. And it was really challenging for me to separate coming off of the show and kind of being grateful for it, but knowing when to kind of just let it just have been what it was, something in the past.
Right. Gotcha. So, Yoanna, you're doing amazing with these questions. I just want you to know.
Thank you. I'm normally the one who asks lots of questions.
If someone asked about you cutting the back of your hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. Well, because I was so annoyed that they wouldn't cut it and it was itchy, and I just took matters into my own hands.
As you should in life, as you should.
Yeah, you can't always wait on everybody.
You know, I tell people that all the time. Like, people around me, I tell them all the time, I'm like, if something doesn't happen for you, or if you want something to happen, you cannot blame it on yourself. If you have 2 legs, 2 arms, a brain, and breathing lungs, do it yourself. Do it yourself. Were you asked back for All Stars?
I don't think so. I don't know. Sometimes I would hear, like, I would go to jobs and people would say, hey, we try to call your agent about this or your management team about this. And I'm like, what? So maybe. And they were like, no, I don't know. I don't know.
A lot of questions about this too. How was it working for Sephora?
Oh, well, this is so funny. So I actually cried because of the amount of makeup that they put on my face. I was a little worried that fans would think I looked too over the top. Mm-hmm. It was a great day on set. Mally Roncal, who's a friend of mine, did my makeup. But the craziest thing was they used that campaign to launch the Fifth Avenue store opening. And I didn't know that. And I showed up, they invited me, and I showed up in my Pilates clothes. And everybody was wearing the fedora, and I was like, you know what? I would have dressed up and I would have celebrated myself. But it was kind of hard and weird for me to see my picture like all over New York. It made me feel like nervous. I don't know why, but
I of course not on your level, but I had the opportunity to do some social media campaign work for or this over during the during the whole quarantine thing. I did some like lip gloss stuff.
Oh, wow. Well, you've got some juicy lips.
Do you think I would have been sent home? Would Tyra have sent me home?
No, I think she would love you.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do, when I was taking my photo, I tried to do that thing she would always say, like, look off to the side with a little ting in your eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Always think of something that makes you happy. It's very true. Your eyes can, here's the thing. I don't really judge people by this. I look at their eyes. If they've got some crazy ass eyes, you better believe I'm turning the other direction. But seriously, like if you think about stuff when you're having your picture taken, it will come out of you and the picture will capture that. It's really what I think.
You know, when I'm not a model, but I do have to take photos from time to time. And so when I'm taking I like to be in motion as I'm taking a photo. Like it's very hard for me when they tell me like, hey, stand like this. Do you like this? I'm like, okay, I really can't. But I would rather like as I'm doing it to, you know, to bring fluidity and just easiness to it. Ease.
Yeah, I think you're doing a great job.
So listen, this is something that kind of struck me when I was reading, and there were a lot of comments about this. People said that Miss Yoanna is actually the first Latina to win, which is something I did not know. So when I kept seeing it, I was like, well, let me do some research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it said that your mother is Mexican and your father is Canadian.
Yeah, sí, hablo español. Mi mamá era mexicana. Y I speak fluent Spanish. My grandparents were also from Mexico. My father actually did his medical residency and went to school in Guadalajara. I met my mother. He loved Mexican culture. So yes, I just think honestly at that time, and this is something I think people may, and not to be taken the wrong way, Latin people can also look very European. I think people in their heads believe, this is what my grandmother always told me as a child, don't tell people you're Mexican because they will think that you're going to ride on a donkey with tortillas in hand. And it's a funny thing, but if you think about it, a lot of people have the misconceptions that Mexican are all short, dark hair, dark skin. Well, if you go to Mexico, you will see everybody looks so different. But yes, so I am half Mexican and proud. I believe that you should also teach your children. This is something big in New York, which I really am against, not teaching your children your mother tongue language. You've got to teach your children how to speak your language. Do not be embarrassed because look, at the end of the day, we need to celebrate diversity in our culture. And I definitely embrace being half Mexican, and I love Mexican people.
Beautiful. Someone wants to know what it's like working with Nole Marin.
He's lovely.
I stalked his page the other day because you know they tagged him. God, you know that's not a name you know you just would see nowadays. And so I was just going down his page. I was like, look at Nole out here living and flicking it up and out and about and looking like a little daddy up in the streets and down to the beach.
He's lovely. Yeah, I like him.
I would love to meet him actually one day because he seems like he's.
I think someone has to embrace both sides. Are they talking about being Latin and American?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think what's cool is that my father, being Canadian, also embraced Mexican culture and learned to speak Spanish. So we pretty much spoke fluent Spanish in our house, and my mom spoke perfect English. But I kind of miss, like, my mom's not with us anymore, but I miss being able to have that around. And I am trying to teach my son Spanish. He kind of looks at me a little cockeyed when I start talking to him because he can understand it, but I think he gets nervous speaking it. But I think Mexicans like Americans, we have different racial backgrounds. But yeah, I embrace being Mexican. I don't really think about it because I grew up in such a multicultural household. But yeah, so
beautiful. So this last question, and then I'm gonna get into some of my questions that I have.
Okay.
Baby Five says, "Yeah, I was worried this wasn't gonna happen." Listen, Yoanna, you don't know the terror. Yoanna, you do not understand the terror that rained down on my life when you and I. It was a terror. The people terrorized me up until this moment right now.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful.
They terrorized my DMs. They terrorized my apps. They were in my comment section. Some people with me. I said, oh my goodness gracious.
I'm not a Canadian or Mexican citizen, but I am going to apply for my Canadian citizenship, especially if the selection happens and it doesn't work out. I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding.
So, so Kitty Baby 5 is asking, did you really feel Tyra genuinely cared with the few that gathered? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to paraphrase their sentence. They're saying, do you feel like Tyra really genuinely cared about you guys? And I guess they're referencing the few times she would gather you guys together and have these intimate talks. Yeah, because Tyra comes under fire a lot nowadays with
would she come under fire if she wasn't rich?
Elaborate.
I think she's made a great fortune from the show, and rightfully so. And I think that, look, I feel like sometimes in our culture, we don't want to see people have everything. She's got looks, she's got money, she's got a career, and she's got, you know, so much going for her. So I do believe that she cares. I still keep in touch with her. I really admire her as a businesswoman. I mean, I don't understand what this concept of sitting around and singing Kumbaya with each other all day long. I just think she had her own agenda. She was there. She was also working on getting her talk show going. So I thought when she was with us, yes, she's genuine, and have been around a lot of people in this industry who are not genuine. And Tyra really behind the scenes is like a homegirl. Like, hey, what's going? I mean, she's pretty laid back. So I do think she was genuine with us. I do.
Nice. Did you have any bad experiences with production behind the scenes while you were filming the show?
Well, they wanted to know why I kept escaping, and we talked about that.
Right. Yeah.
D-Mike and then go call my mom. No, I don't think so. I really liked a couple of the producers. Look, Ken Mock went to school with Cornell West, who I love so much. I don't know if you follow him. Okay, love Cornell West. And Anthony, one of the producers, we love his show Lego Masters. So I think there's been an amazing array of talent behind the scenes and in front of, also on camera, that just keep doing amazing things.
Listen, I tell people all the time, you know, I appreciate Top Model, which the show is my #2 favorite show of all time. I say this all the time in my chats because Charmed will forever reign supreme in my life as being my #1 show of all time. But I'm appreciative for Top Model because of just, you know, the identity I was able to get from the show and connect with certain people and look at the different creative things and see queer people of color working in spaces of power and being respected for it. And, you know, just all the stories and the competition of it all. I love Top Model so freaking much, and to hear you say that is beautiful.
Thank you.
Listen, so I'm filming a music video of mine with like the last scene of the video. I've already shot some scenes too, and my creative partner brought me this leather jumpsuit.
Okay.
Like, what am I gonna do with this? And so I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to wear this leather jumpsuit and I'm going to pay homage to Top Model into what I believe is the most iconic photo ever taken in Top Model history and place a helmet on my head in honor of Miss Yoanna House. How do you feel about
that's so sweet.
Oh, thank you. No, thank you. How do you feel about people considering that photo the most iconic photo taken ever on the show?
I don't know. I never really thought about it in that way, but I guess I still get tagged in it and people comment on it all the time. And hey, Manuel did my makeup. He's the one who came up with the whole concept. And I you know, it is what it is, and I'm very grateful, and I appreciate you using that as inspiration. I mean, that's a pretty big deal to inspire someone like you, the youth. And then, you know, you're doing, that's awesome.
No, thank you. Yoanna, I don't have any more questions for you, girl.
Okay, well, thank you. I wish you the best, and I just want to give you a piece of advice.
I'm listening.
Don't share your dreams with everybody. Hold them close to your heart. And the other thing I would say is I believe that with what you're about to do, you just need to have a good group of people that are there supporting you and want to see you succeed. If you can have a good group of friends that want to see good things happen for you in your life, then I think you've got half the battle.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you.
All right, well, take care. Bye, Oliver.
Bye, Yoanna. Everyone say bye to Yoanna House.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much. See you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.
Let me tell you something about that interview that I'm really going to take for the rest of me and my career. Y'all notice I didn't curse while the Yoanna was on, because I felt the energy. I felt the power, so I had to show mamas, more and more respect. Yoanna don't give a fuck. She don't give a damn. She don't care. She don't care what they say, you say, she say. Mama is only caring about what he says and what she has already put in her brain and in her mind and in her heart and what she has deemed to be important. There was such a glow about Mama's. I mean, I ain't reading her, but I mean, she did have a filter on, but her energy and the presence that she just had was radiating so strong. And she just doesn't know how much she just really just got me together, and just, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. If you know who you are and you know what you want and you know who you belong to, there's a need to look to the left. There's a need to look to the right. Thank you, Yoanna House, for that. Thank you so freaking much. Listen, guys, this video will be up on my YouTube channel in a couple of minutes. I got a little time before I have to go do some things today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. I have a couple more interviews lined up. I have a Cycle 7 interview. I have a Cycle 7, definitely Cycle 7. When y'all see who I got for Cycle 7, hopefully you guys are appreciative. But I got Cycle 7 and I got a Cycle 13 girl that I'm very excited about. Listen, just so you guys can help me out, I want to talk to Yaya, Kelly, or Takara, even Eva, about Cycle 3. So if you guys can, go underneath their pages and tag me like, hey, go talk to Oliver about Top Model. He's a cool guy. He's really, 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 really cool. Please do that for me. And then I think that's it for now, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in all the time and joining me in my madness. And like I always say, be sure to pray. Pray first. Get on your knees and pray to whoever you believe in. And then Kegel. It keeps the mind focused. And who don't want a tight pussy? Come home.